Hi, I'm Rachel Barton Pine, and I'm really glad to be participating in this special fundraiser for Feeding America and the Equal Justice Initiative. Food security and justice are two of our most pressing issues today, and so I'm really glad that my violin and I can do our part to help. I'm going to be playing pieces by three of my favorite Black classical composers. The first is Noel da Costa. He's sometimes referred to as a Caribbean composer, an African composer, or an African American composer, and that's because, well, first of all, he's so great that everybody wants to claim him, but he was born in Nigeria to parents of Jamaican descent. Yes, that is correct. But then he made his career in America. In the case of this particular composition, he's paying homage to the music of New Orleans with a pair of movements entitled New Orleans Clog and New Orleans Clog Blues. So here's the music of Noel da Costa. New Orleans Clog and New Orleans Clog Blues by Noel da Costa. That was written in the 1970s, going back almost a century. There was a wonderful Afro-English composer named Samuel Coleridge Taylor, not to be confused with Samuel Taylor Coleridge, totally different guy, the famous poet. But Samuel Coleridge-Taylor was born to an Englishwoman mother and a father from Sierra Leone, and he became one of the most successful conductors, composers, and violinists in all of Britain. He wrote numerous symphonies, chamber works, all kinds of great stuff, lots of vocal music. In fact, his oratorio, Hiawatha, based on the Longfellow poem, for a period of a few decades was the most frequently performed oratorio in the world, beating out even the Handel's Messiah, if you can believe it. Well, Coleridge Taylor was really a hero to African American classical musicians who were excluded from much of mainstream concert life at that time. And when they would form their own orchestras or concert presenting organizations, they would often call them Samuel Coleridge Taylor Societies. Well, Coleridge Taylor himself had no real connections to the African American diaspora. He was very inspired by the music of African Americans, particularly spirituals. And so he decided to write concert versions of spirituals, wrote a whole collection of them, and Booker T. Washington actually wrote the introduction to that collection, calling Samuel Coleridge Taylor the greatest musician of our race. Coleridge Taylor did finally visit America at the invitation of W.E.B. Du Bois, and he was such an inspirational figure that at least one family decided to name their child after him. And so Coleridge Taylor Perkinson coincidentally became a composer himself. I bet his parents didn't expect that, but he had the perfect name. Well, Coleridge-Taylor is a bit of a mouthful of a first name, and so he often went by Perk with his friends. So Samuel Coleridge Taylor and then Coleridge Taylor Perkinson. Well, I was lucky enough to know Perkinson at the end of his life when he was here in Chicago as director of the New Black Music Repertory Ensemble, which was the performance arm of the Center for Black Music Research, which is where I first found a lot of this repertoire. And I got to work with him on his music, and it was such a great honor. His music organically combines inspiration from jazz along with classical, and he has just such a unique voice. There's not a single work of his that I haven't been absolutely mesmerized by. He's one of my all-time favorite composers. So first, Deep River by Samuel Coleridge Taylor, which is kind of in a sandwich structure. You'll hear the beloved melody at the beginning and end, and then in the middle, original music of Coleridge Taylor, which perhaps describes the circumstances that would have given rise to the creation of this spiritual originally, music of great strife, and the spiritual, of course, longing for the promised land. And then I'm going to play Louisiana Blues Strut by Coleridge Taylor Perkinson. Louisiana Blues Strut by Coleridge Taylor Perkinson, and before that I played Deep River by Samuel Coleridge Taylor. Thanks so much for listening, and thank you very much for your support of Feeding America and the Equal Justice Initiative.
If I was born at a different time of day, I'd be driving through the West Coast now, go to all the pretty places in the pictures of your town you sent me. If I was born on the other side of the USA, we wouldn't have to think about state lines, fall asleep on the same side of the night. What am I even talking about? Thinking of something I'll never know now. I think I'm losing track of time again. I think I'm losing track of the days again. 'Cause it's felt like a lifetime, but it's only been 10. It's only been 10. If I met you in a different kind of way, I'd be looking at your face instead of screens in a display 4,000 miles away. What am I even talking about? Thinking of someone I'll never know now. I think I'm losing track of time again. I think I'm losing track of the days again. 'Cause it's felt like a lifetime, but it's only been 10. It's only been 10. with somebody. I wanna feel the heat with somebody. I wanna dance with somebody. With somebody who loves me. Oh, I wanna dance with somebody. I wanna feel the heat with somebody. I wanna dance with somebody. With somebody who loves me. I've been in love and lost my senses, spinning through the town. Sooner or later, the fever ends, and now I end up feeling down. Oh, I need a man who'll take a chance on a love that burns hot enough to last. When the night falls, my lonely heart calls. Oh, I wanna dance with somebody. I wanna feel the heat with somebody. Oh, I wanna dance with somebody. With somebody who loves me. Oh, I wanna dance with somebody. I wanna feel the heat with somebody. Oh, I wanna dance with somebody. With somebody who loves me. Somebody who, somebody who, somebody who loves me. Somebody who, somebody who, to hold me in his arms. I need a man who'll take a chance on a love that burns hot enough to last. When the night falls, my lonely